I don't know why, but I'm having so many issues with my light. Hold on, you'll see it. Just wait. I have like a glow above my head, like I'm an angel. That's funny. I am sweet, but not an angel. Okay, so look, my light is supposed to be a 3-way light, but it's not working. So 2 of them are burnt out. So I had to go to the store and get a new light bulb. And now I'm trying to flick around here. What I should have done is kept it right there. I thought that was nice, but I didn't. I left it here. I don't know. Continue on. Hi, welcome back to another video of Crafty Creations by Judy. I'm Judy, me. If you watched my video in the beginning of the month, I said that I was going to be keeping track of how much yarn I used. I did that. I use a lot, which is great because I have a lot. I'm getting a reflection in my glasses. Sorry, you're gonna get me without my glasses today. All right, so I use a lot. I kind of showed you what I was dealing with. I thought, oh, I'm just gonna use this cute little bag that my friend gave me. It'll be fine. I'm not gonna overflow it. We're gonna be good. Yeah, we're not. We weren't. We had to go to a bigger tote, which is fine, which is great, which is awesome. With that being said, I have not counted how many skeins I use, but I can tell you I don't have everything I made because we already gave our donations away for the month, and I've already made blankets for people and I've given those out all except for one. With that being said, I made some custom blankets, and my nieces, a couple people that work in the hospital where I was at. I wasn't at the hospital. I'm a caregiver. The person I caregive was at the hospital. Nurses and a PT person asked me if I would make a blanket. I said yes. So I did that. So I counted that in here because it was yarn. I really tried not to buy a whole lot this month. I only bought what I needed for those particular projects. So I'm going to go ahead and count here. I made blankets that we gave away. I made specialty blankets for people, custom orders. So there was a lot. I made 127 hats, which is astonishing, is amazing. Anywhere from infant all the way up to adult. I made 127 hats, 117 scrunchies. That was a lot of scrunchies. But you know what? Towards the end, because it took me a while, because I wanted to try different Chanels, I wanted to try different materials, I tried a couple different patterns, I wanted to see what worked for me. And towards the end, I think around 80, I finally figured out what worked for my brain and my hands and my style. So that was great. Those all got taken to the church to go to the homeless shelters, which is great. Hats, 127 hats, 115. I made a total of 21 blankets, custom and donations. What else did I make? Oh, I made 3 stuffies, which was super cool. They also went to the homeless shelter. I have some pictures of some things that I made. I didn't take pictures of everything. I'm really not at that point where making the stuffies I feel comfortable. Like, they were okay, but they weren't like, oh my gosh, I gotta show the world this. Some of the blankets I did take pictures for those who I made the blankets for, so I can insert those in here. But really, honestly, what this video is about how much I use. So I'll be back. I'm gonna count these really quick. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna say I used, because the scrunchies, you could get 4 scrunchies out of a skein on certain ones. And then some I didn't have, like, it was like a skein that wasn't wrapped because I was given some yarn. So I didn't count it if I didn't use all of it, or I had to have all but, I think I made 20%. Like, I could count it if I used 80% of the skein. Yeah, so I'm gonna say 47. That's my guess. What's your guess? I'm gonna say 47. Yeah, I think that's a good guess. Okay, be right back. I'm gonna count. All right, so everything is counted. I was wrong. Let's just say that. I was wrong. I admit it. I was wrong. We're just going to start with this pile in my hand. This is all my 3 and 4 weighted yarn. This is most of my hat stuff. Again, I used a lot of my scraps because I had a lot of scraps. I had a lot of like skeins that didn't even get counted in this. So this pile right here, there was 18, and I probably used, I don't even know how much I used in my scrap yarn, just because if it came with if there was a color here that I wanted to pair it with, because you do two yarns at the same time, I didn't want to open something if I had something that I wanted to use, if that makes sense. So there's 18 here. Pretty good. I mean, typically like this, I love this cotton, or I love this yarn, is how much is this? How much yarn is this? Why can I never, 252 yards. So it's about 2 adult size hats and then maybe a baby hat. So, I mean, that's 3 hats. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And then my yarn. So 18, where am I gonna put these? All right, these are my Chanel's, a lot of these. And then I had a lot of Chanel's that were not in wrappers. And then we had these 2 that was just bowed up. Because I was given a lot of Chanel, but there's 20 here, so that's 20. So we have 18, 20, we're at 38. No, yeah, that's right. Yeah, 30. Here is the big one. This is my blanket. This is my 7-weight yarn. This is the stuff that I made the blankets. And if you remember, I made a lot of blankets, and a blanket I'm going to donate is 3 to 5, depending on what's going on, what size, who's it's going to. Now, I did make some blankets that were special orders that were up to 13, 14 even skeins. But some of that I didn't count because it was in my scrap yarn. And some, see, I didn't count it. Maybe I should have. Maybe that's how I should do it next time. I should count even my scrap yarn. But then it's hard. Maybe I should just weigh it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're in this month. We're in March. But anyway, are you ready? One moment, please. I can't even hold it. That's how much I have. I can't even hold it in my hand. And it's all nice. This isn't even all of them. One moment, please. days old. Whew. 36. So if we count, and I'm pretty good at math, 18 plus 36 is 54, plus 20 is 54, which doesn't even count, excuse me, it doesn't even count like what I used in my
Correction,
scrapyard.
74. 74, not 54.
I don't think that's bad. I mean, on the weekends, I usually did the blankets. During the week, when I was at work or at home, in the evening, I would just whip out a hat or two, or a scrunchie or 7, or, you know, whatever worked for that moment, or a stuffy plushie, whatever you want to call them. So with that said, I think that I did really well for my first time actually tracking it. I think it was pretty good. I mean, I can't complain. So what I'm going to challenge myself for April is to get rid of a lot of my scrap yarn, whatever it may be. Like, I'll show you. Oh. Like, this is just scrap yarn right here. This is just one. Now, remember, I didn't count it in this challenge if I had over 20% left. And that's what some of this stuff is. Like, but then here, I have a full skein in here. I just threw it in here. You know, I didn't count this because it was over 20%. And then all my little bags of balls. Isn't that cute? So I think what I'm going to do for this month is to go through all my scrap yarn. And then, and with that, I got a whole bunch of, I was given, how do I phrase it? I was gifted cakes, which are the really pretty cakes, yada, yada, yada. I wish they would eat. I wonder, anyway, I digress. Maybe I should see how much scrap yarn I can go through with my cakes. So don't open up any new skeins except for the cakes, and then just pick out of my scrap yarn, because I have that basket and I have 3 more in the basement. I bet I could do that. Yeah, let's do that. And then my blankets won't count because I don't have any more scrap blanket yarn anymore. But I do feel like I need to count how many blankets I make, just because I make a lot, but it's not for, I think we're just going to challenge ourselves. Like, how can we beat next month? Can we beat next month? And then let's use it, the cakes and the scrap yarn. I think that's fair, right? Unless you have a better idea. I don't know. But anyway, that's all I have. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Thank you for looking at my craziness of yarn skeins that I did. I cannot believe I had, how many? 74? So I said 47. So, you know, I'm slightly dyslexic anyway. There's some words I change, my numbers I change around. So we're just going to count it up. Just not that I'm making fun of myself or anybody else who has dyslexia. It is what it is. I'm left-handed. There's a lot of things wrong with me. There's a lot of things right. So I think that's it. I think we're going to see how many cakes we can go through with our scrap yarn. And we'll just see what we end up with at the end of the month. I know for church, we are doing, they want us to start doing cottony stuff, like cotton, making washcloths, dishcloths, things like that for the homeless shelter. I'm going to continue to make hats because I also make them for the cancer center. And for me, that's a near and dear to my heart. So I'm going to continue to do that because that's important to me. Obviously, I'm going to make for the church. I'm going to make for family and friends. If they ask me to make something for them, I am going to continue to be diligent in my projects because I give with my heart. So with that being said, and I know I do have 4 blankets that need to be made for April, but I'm having somebody come home having somebody come home, and he's going to be home for 2 weeks. So I don't know how much I'm actually going to get done in April, because I'm going to be spending every minute with this person while he's home, before he leaves again. So probably the only time I'm working on this, on making stuff, is when I'm working and when my person that I care for is not. I only do this when he's sleeping, or in the hospital and can't do anything. Otherwise, I'm extremely active with this person. But so I don't know how productive April's actually going to be. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because every little gift is a big gift, especially for someone who doesn't have something. So I got to keep remembering that. So until next time, I'm going to try to be a little bit more diligent with filming. Again, I don't know if it's going to happen this month just because of everything else going on. And like I said, my time is definitely going to be focused on my family, more so than what it already is. And my free time may not be as free as what it was, and that's okay, and that is just fine. So anyway, till next time, thank you so much for coming. Please like to subscribe, share if it's, is it worth sharing? I think it's worth sharing. I think I'm funny. But anyway, thank you so much. Have a great night. How do I get this thing to shut off? See, I don't even know how to run this. Why can't I see this?